The Shooter Shack. Welcome to the Shooter Shack. I shoot at like 80%. Where the hell they do that at? Where the hell they do that at? Welcome to the Shooter Shack. The Shooter Shack. I help you make your money back. Like where they do that at? I shoot 80%. Every Sunday with the kid. I'll make your money back. I shoot 80%. Every Sunday with the kid. Like where they do that.
Welcome back to the Shooter Shack. Pat Gregoire alongside Brett McConaughey, aka The Shooter. And Brett, believe it or not, it is the last episode of season number 1 here at the Shooter Shack. And what a year it has been. Dog days of summer though. But here at the Shooter Shack, there's always something to talk about.
That's right, Patty, and it's been a fantastic season 1. We've had over 40 episodes. We've had over 5 million views. We've had some fantastic guests on the show to stop by and chat. And today's no difference, Patty. We got another one. Marcus Foligno, recently acquired by the Minnesota Wild in a trade from Buffalo. He'll be spending some time with us later today. But before we get to that, Patty, let's get right into this thing.
All right, we'll start things right here in Toronto with the Blue Jays, and the MLB trade deadline came and went. And the Bluebirds, well, they kind of were a little bit quiet, dished a couple of pieces here and there, but a lot of people were anticipating Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins to blow this thing up and start the rebuild. Well, a lot of big pieces are still here, and they are saying that they are going to be competitive in 2018. So, Brett, I have to ask you, was this the right play to hold on to all your chips, get ready for next year? Or was this a missed opportunity where the Blue Jays could have started their rebuild?
Well, Patty, I'll tell you right now, and this is a tough one, but I'm going to say that the front office made the right decision in not selling the farm at the trade deadline and keeping these pieces in play. For one reason, rebuilding in the AL East is just not possible. It's been the best division in baseball for a very long time, and a rebuild will have those little bluebirds choking on the salty truth for years to come. And they're not that far out of it. That's the crazy thing. 6 to 7 games back of the wild card with lots of teams to leapfrog over, but it's not completely unattainable. We've seen this team go on runs like this in the past, so we'll see what happens. But your best players, your so-called top guns, gotta be your top guns. Donaldson hitting .249 with 12 home runs. Tulo, .247 with 7 bombs. Russell Martin, .225 with 11 home runs. And Joey Bats hitting .219. If you got any chance to win in this league, your best players have to be your best players. And we have a great core here in Toronto, so let's hope they made the right move by keeping everyone together. They can adjust, shuffle some things around, and hopefully have a better second half of the season.
Well, speaking of the second half, it's going to be a doozy. It seems like in the AL and the NL, there's been a couple of teams that have risen to the top, separating themselves from the pack. So, Brett, let's start with the AL since we're already there with the Blue Jays. Who do you see coming out top going to the World Series?
Well, Patty, I've already taken a little bit of criticism with this after the trade deadline, but I'm going with the Houston Astros. These guys have come up in the system together, and they play the game the right way. My personal favorite player in the league right now, shortstop Carlos Correa, is having a monster year. And let's not forget about the little guy, Jose Altuve, just chipping away again, leading the AL and the whole league in batting average. And then we got George Springer in the outfield, who, like the other two, was named to the All-Star team. The Yankees loaded up at the deadline, but I'm telling you right now, I got a gut feeling. I'm the #1 professional handicapper in the world for a reason. And with that being said, I'm sticking with my gut, Patty, and I'm going with the Houston Astros.
Can't go wrong with the Stros there, but I wouldn't be surprised seeing the Bronx Bombers back to the World Series once again. And the Red Sox, they're sticking around there. A veteran lineup with a lot of young pieces, some up-and-coming superstars there as well. So we're going to switch things now to the NL, and I think I have an idea. It's got to be one of the teams here. At the start of the year, the defending World Series champions, the Chicago Cubs, couldn't even find them anywhere, but boy oh boy have things changed. One of the hottest teams in all of Major League Baseball right now. And then you've got the LA Dodgers. I mean, the rich keep getting richer, bringing in Yu Darvish, Clayton Kershaw. When he comes back, he'll be healthy. The best pitcher in baseball, in my opinion. But no one cares about my opinion here. They want to know what you know. who do you like in the NL?
Well, Patty, I'm going to tell you right now, you is poo. Not a big fan of what they did with Darvish. Not a big fan. I thought Sonny Gray was the best right-hander of the bunch. But in the National League, Patty, I am going with the defending World Series champions, the Chicago Cubs. I know the Dodgers are having a great year, but the Cubs were there last year. They won the World Series. And you know what? The curse has been lifted. The fans waited so long, but these guys all have been there. Most of that team is still together, and I think they're going to make a really good push in the second half. And it all starts with that veteran leadership and the starting pitching with Jake Arrieta, John Lester, and John Lackey. These guys have proven they can win big games, especially down the stretch. So for that reason, and that reason only, I am taking the Chicago Cubs to win the National League.
All right, well, it's August, meaning the NFL season is almost upon us. Yes, Shooter, praise the Lord. The dog days of summer are almost over. NFL training camps have started, meaning there's no shortage of storylines and controversy throughout the entire NFL, and most mainly in Colin Kaepernick. Now, throughout the offseason in the summer, we heard, well, the reason why he's not in the NFL, doesn't have a contract yet, has nothing to do with him kneeling during the anthem last year. It actually, teams just didn't think he's a good enough quarterback. Well, all of that was put to rest as we heard the Baltimore Ravens were ready to sign Kaepernick. John Harbaugh, the head coach, was ready. Ozzie Newsome, the GM, they supported signing him. Well, it was actually Steve Biscotti, the owner, who pulled the reins back and decided not to sign him because of the off-field distractions. Now, Shooter, before I get going, I've got to ask you, what's your entire take on this Colin Kaepernick situation?
Well, Patty, it's really simple, and this is a situation that I can sink my jibs right into. Kaepernick not signed yet by an NFL team after his second best season of his career. 90.7 QB rating. We saw how he was at the start of his career. So to see his second best season right there, it's not too shabby. This guy can still play. He's good enough to be a starter on some teams, and he could easily be a backup on almost every team in the league, but no team wants him. And let me tell you why. Colin, last season was a goddamn circus out there. You're bringing the wrong attention to yourself and your football team. Teams want media coverage talking about wins, last second field goals to win the game, making the postseason, and of course, playing in the Super Bowl. They don't want the coverage before every game talking about whether or not Colin Kaepernick is going to kneel or is he going to stand for the national anthem. I get what you're doing for civil rights. You're taking a stand. I tip my cap to you for that. But you did it on the wrong platform. You're a popular guy. You got tons of resources. You could have started a web series. You could have started a charity. You could have got out there and done something with social media to show how you felt about that. But you made a huge mistake doing it on the gridiron in a patriotic country like the U.S., kneeling in the national anthem. That is a huge slap in the face for a lot of people. You pissed a lot of people off, Colin Kaepernick, and it could have costed you your NFL career.
Now, Shooter, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with what Colin Kaepernick did last year on the sidelines. But what I am saying here is we're talking about the Baltimore Ravens. This is the same franchise, and we saw them, how they handled the Ray Rice situation, how they've turned a blind eye to Terrell Suggs and domestic violence accusations. And also, this is the same owner that built a statue of Ray Lewis, and we know his history. And they're worried about one player, their quarterback, who's probably going to be their backup quarterback, taking a knee during the anthem? Are you kidding me?
Well, you know what, Patty? It's good to see you so fired up. I can feel the steam coming off them. This is the last episode of season 1, and it couldn't come at a better time. But let's keep it nice and light for the viewers. So from this one, we're going to move on over to the Fresh Crowd Donkey of the Week. And Fresh Crowd, you guys got to check them out. Freshcrowd.ca. They've helped me build my following. They are the social media superheroes. To make sure to check those guys out. But for the donkey, here is Governor Chris Christie. He's going nose to nose with a Cubs fan. Plate of nachos in his hands. Pants hiked up right around the barrel. This guy's an embarrassment. You're a governor. You're not a mobster. And there he goes, walking down the stairs, the little Oompa Loompa. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4. Grab a seat and another couple hot dogs, you lazy bugger. And you are the Shooter Shacks Donkey of the week. Well, Patty, this is it. It is the end of season 1, and we got one more interview that we got to take care of before we head down south with the wise guys for the summer. Marcus Foligno, the Moose, the big cat. We got him in here joining us today. Marcus, how are you today, brother?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, we're doing great, man, and it's an honor to have you on the show. But let's get right to this thing. Back in 07, second round pick by the Sudbury Wolves, and you find out you're going to be playing for your hometown team and coached by your father, NHL great Mike Foligno. Can you just take us a little bit through that experience for you and how that was?
Yeah, obviously it was a great experience. Being drafted, I was watching my brother play for the Sudbury Wolves before I got the chance to play there. So it kind of made me want to be more a part of the Sudbury Wolves than ever, and definitely kind of made me want to go to the OHL path, that's for sure. So when I found out that Sudbury Wolves was able to select me in the second round of the OHL draft, I was pretty pumped. Obviously, being from Sudbury is first, and your friends, family's all there, so that was exciting. But have your father as a coach was something special too. I mean, it was definitely tough at times, but there were some great times as well. And he was a great coach, and he's the big reason why I developed my skills further and made the NHL. But Sudbury Wolves was just a great starting point for myself in my junior career.
Well, 2011 was a big year for you. Not only were you the captain of the Sudbury Wolves, but you also represented Canada at the World Juniors, and you came home with a silver medal. What was that experience like?
Yeah, that was just, that was kind of a goal I had going into that year. I felt going into Buffalo camps now, getting some NHL training camp experience, I felt better with myself as a player, and going into kind of my final year in junior as I thought, and being the captain of the Sudbury Wolves, it was a big year for myself, and then I took off running with it. I mean, I had the most points I've ever had in junior career that season, and I never really got a chance to go to World Junior training camps or anything like that in the summertime where they usually have them. But my good season in Sudbury kind of led me to that camp in around Christmas time, and able to make it and kind of impress the brass there, and made that team. And it was kind of never looked back. It was an excellent tournament, something I'll never forget. It was a huge reason for my development as well to get to the NHL. I think the confidence that comes with it, playing with the best of the best in the world at your age, is something special, something you take pride in. Definitely a tournament I'll always remember, no matter how tough the outcome was playing against Russia in that tough game. But it was something that made me a better player, and obviously to represent your country was unbelievable.
Well, buddy, it might not have been the outcome you wanted, but let's talk about the start you had in the NHL. You get the call up to the show. First 14 games, you get 13 points, and you're named NHL Rookie of the Month that March. Can you touch a little bit about that for us? How was that experience? You go from playing juniors to the NHL and absolutely lighting it up. Talk to us, Marcus.
Yeah, I think it all started with my Rochester development days. Obviously getting after that year in junior, being captain and getting the World Juniors, it was kind of a next year to make the jump to the NHL, and I had a good camp. I just wasn't quite ready, and I was lucky to be able to play for Rochester Americans, which had a great system down there. Had some great coaches. Chris Taylor, who was a Rochester Amherst one of the greats, was a huge offensive development coach for us down there, and likes of me and Zach Cassian were playing at the time, and we developed huge. We benefited greatly by having him there, and just playing in Rochester, getting that pro game going. By Christmas time, I felt like I was getting better and developing every day, and lucky to get a call, and then played my first game against my brother in the NHL in Ottawa, and that was pretty exciting, but it wasn't quite ready enough to stick. And then when I went back to Rochester for about a month or two, it made you want it that much more, and kind of got called up for the last 14 games of the year, and never looked back. I mean, that was just one of those things where I was playing with great players too. I was on the line with Tyler Ennis and Drew Stafford, and we were a really good line. We had a lot of different abilities that we had. We were big, strong, fast, creative, and it was an exciting time. And I was able to rack up a couple points, and got lucky on a couple bounces, but kind of went for a good streak there, and kind of was my time to make the NHL.
Well, I mean, you mentioned your brother there playing against him. What's it like having a big brother in the NHL, and do you guys maybe think you'll one day play on the same squad?
Yeah, we'd obviously love that. That's 100%. If we wanted to play together, that would be something that we both want to do when the time's right. But feels like our whole life we've been always playing against each other, so might as well just keep that going for a little bit longer. But definitely Nick's been a role model for me. I mean, him kind of my trailblazer. He groomed every path to what I've done in my life and my career. And having an older brother that's as successful as him, it makes it easy as a younger brother to do things right. So I owe him a lot. I mean, he's obviously had a heck of a career. He's a captain of Columbus now and a true leader. And that's something that I want to be for an NHL team. And it's just he's just a hardworking individual, and he's finally getting rewarded with. He's always had the skill, but his work ethic always comes first, I believe, and something that our dad taught us, and Nick showed it throughout his whole career. So one of these days we'll play with each other, and I think our family will appreciate that instead of having to cheer against each other. But from right now, it's a lot of fun, thinking that we're still kids in the street hockey and getting pretty competitive with each other right now.
Well, that would be something special to see the Foligno brothers out there working together. But let's talk about you, and let's talk about right now. July 1st, your name was involved in one of the biggest trades in the offseason with yourself and Tyler Rennis heading to Minnesota for Jason Pominville and Marco Scandella. Now that you've had a couple weeks to kind of sit back and let everything settle in, how do you feel about this trade, and what's the outlook for next season with yourself and the Minnesota Wild?
Yeah, got the call from Jason Botterill, GM of Buffalo now, and it was just a call around 11:30, I believe, and he just he said it was a tough decision on his part and a tough phone call to make, and just wanted to let me know that I've been traded to Minnesota, and I was shocked at first. You think you're signing a new contract with Buffalo, but here you are being traded to Minnesota, and then. When the dust settles after the phone call, you realize Minnesota, how great of a hockey team they are. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to be joining that team, and it's a team that's ready for a Stanley Cup, and it's definitely a thing that I've always wanted to do is play in the playoffs. So I feel like this is a goal of mine this season is to help this team make the playoffs and then to have a long playoff run and hopefully win the Stanley Cup. So. Really excited. I mean, I owe a lot to Buffalo. They're a great organization, but I'm really, really excited to join the Minnesota Wild organization. It's just, from what I've heard so far, it's first class again, and obviously an exciting team as well. So ready to get out there and start the season and kick things off right.
Yeah, I spent 4 years down in school in Buffalo. Definitely a passionate fan base there, but you're going to the Wild, and they're just as passionate up there as well. But we were talking to your brother a couple months ago, and we couldn't help but notice he kept calling you Moose. Where does that nickname come? Is it more of a family thing, or do all your buddies call you that?
When I was younger, I think I was starting to outgrow Nick pretty early. It doesn't take much, but no, I mean, it's he's definitely was bigger for a while there, being 4 years older than I was, and had a growth spurt in about grade 9, grade 10, and my family kind of started calling me Moose then. I mean, I was kind of uncoordinated like a moose. I was trying to grow into my body, was kind of bony and things like that. But it was definitely came from I think my mom or my sister's naming that, and then before I know it, my extended family's naming that, and then I got carried to the locker room, and kind of the boys took off with it. So it's stuck now, and it's weird when someone calls me Marcus. So it's a good nickname. Like Moose is good.
Well, it was great having you on today, Marcus. There's no question about it. But like we do with every guest we have on, we got to run you through the Shooter Shack's last minute of play. 60 seconds on the clock. Quick questions coming at you. Answer them short, and we'll keep it rolling. You good with that, buddy?
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. The last minute of play with Marcus Foligno, and the clock starts now. Toughest goalie to score on in the league?
Carey Price.
Who is the Buffalo Sabres DJ?
Zach Bogosian.
Bud Light or Coors Light?
Coors Light.
Pre-game superstition?
I tie my left skate before my right skate.
Go-to breakaway move?
Come in, shot fake, and then try to go top right over the glove.
Whiskey or vodka?
Vodka.
In a scrap, you or your brother, Nicky Foligno?
Me for sure.
It's a battle of terrible buckets. Archer Zerbe or Kelly Rudy?
Had Archer Zerbe as a goalie coach on my team, so I'm going to go with Archer Zerbe.
It's another battle of two bad styles. Claude Lemieux or Chris Draper?
Claude Lemieux.
Toughest D-man to go up one-on-one in the entire league?
Probably Zdeno Chara.
Have you ever done the world famous Foligno leap after a snipe?
Yes, I have.
All right, Marcus, there you have it, buddy. You're out of the woods. The buzzer sounded. The Shooter Shack's last minute of play has come to an end. But before you go, Patty and I just wanted to thank you so much for stopping by the Shack. We wish you a great season coming in Minnesota. Moose, thanks a lot, brother. We can't thank you enough.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. Take care.
Well, with that being said, we got to keep this thing rolling. It is the end of season 1. We got so many sponsors that we got to thank. Dr. J. Petrov, you're the one you got to have. The one you want fixing the jibs. The one you want pulling out the tools and digging some of that gunk out of there. I cannot thank you enough for what you've done for this show. Dr. J, you're the man, brother. Now, Henry Appellum, once again, it's like a wine show every week down here at the Shack. You got 3 different bottles. These things are on fire. They're the ones you want. The Shooter Chardonnay. Keep them rolling. But Patty, there's something to do with a tree in front of us here. But these are the Edelflower Lime Summersby. Another one of our sponsors. They keep supplying them. Patty, why don't you open one up, tell me how it tastes. You got to climb the tree, Patty. Wow, smooth. Yeah, you got to climb the tree. That's good stuff. But for the rest of you, we cannot thank you enough for stopping by the Shack once again. You've all subscribed to the YouTube channel, followed us on the platforms. You get the drill. But we won't see you guys for a little bit. Me and him are going to be down south getting a tan with the wise guys because football is coming, guys. Only 4 or 5 weeks away, but we will be back. And I just can't thank every single one of you enough that have watched the show and made the Shooter Shack what it is. This is the end of season 1. Season 2 is coming quick, and there's going to be some changes around here, but you'll see when that all gets started. So thanks a lot from Patty and I. Patty, can't thank you enough. Captured Films, doing what they do, banging out episode after episode. We wish you guys nothing but the best, and that's it from the Shooter Shack.
Well, Shooter, there's no doubt we've got the best sponsors in the league down here at the Shooter Shack, and I heard we now have a new member on our team.
Well, you're right, Patty, we do. OTM Sports is now live, the world's very first verified social networking site for the hockey's elite, and it's free to become a member. OTM, it's a game changer. In the hockey industry, imagine having an online platform like Facebook, LinkedIn, but it's just for the hockey people. It allows players to stay connected, find playing jobs all over the world. And I'm calling you guys out. Players, coaches, management, agent, scouts. If you guys don't have an account on OTM, you must not be that serious about your career. Hey Patty, I just wish I had these networking opportunities when I played. Iron Mike Keenan, he is on board with OTM. And why don't you guys head to the new website and check out what Mike Keenan had to say. That is OTMSM.com. Check it out and don't forget to sign up for your account today.
Now, Shooter, as you know, hockey players losing jibs all the time. One of my buddies actually just lost one of his chiclets, so I've got to ask you, is there someone you know that can help him out?
Well, as a matter of fact, Patty, there is. Dr. J. Petrov at Maple Ridge Dental. He is the top dentist in Ontario. You call the number on the bottom of the screen and book an appointment today. And if you want to have a smile like the Shooter, make sure you go see Dr. J.
Now, Shooter, I've been thinking about selling my house. Do you know anyone who can help me out?
Well, as a matter of fact, Patty, I sure do. When looking to buy or sell, call Liz and Mel. Liz McKinnon and Melanie Schott with Remax Rouge River are here for all your buying and selling needs. Mention the name Shooter for free staging when selling your home. Hey, that's a $2,500 discount right here from Uncle Shooter. But give them a call today at 289-314-9110 and visit their website at lizandmel.com. And Patty, while we're here down in the shack, I want to thank a few of our other sponsors. The first one, Wilkins the Barber, the #1 barber in the GTA. And when it comes to the one you want with the clippers, the one you want with the baby powder on the brush, he's the one you gotta have. He keeps this beard looking fresh and looking sharp, and don't think for a second he can't do the same for you. The Royal Oak Whippy North at Garden in Taunton. This is one of my favorite sponsors down here at the shack. Pop in and say hello today and let them know the shooter sent you for a 10% discount off your bill. MyCustomSportsChair.com, a wonderful product. Custom sports chairs, they're great gifts for anybody of all ages. Go ahead to mycustomsportschairs.ca and put an order in and use the promo code SHOOTER for free shipping anywhere in North America. How about our friends over at JC Storage Solutions? They've always solved all your storage needs. They supply, deliver, install, and engineer all industrial pallet racking and steel shelving systems. Give them a shout today at 416-565-1196. Have you been charged with a criminal offense or a DUI? Perhaps you got a past that you would like a pardon for. Well, HW Legal Support Services can help. Give them a shout today for a free consultation at 647-460-3722.